the preseason betting odds to be the Super Bowl champion. There were 3 co-favorites coming into the season. It was the Bills, it was the Ravens, and it was the Eagles. 3 teams that have varying degrees right now of issues they've got to sort through. In your mind, right now, there's no undefeateds left after 6 weeks, which is a pretty rarity, too. Is there a favorite? Is there one team that, above all, you say, I wouldn't want to see that team come January, February?
Just last week, I said it was Detroit. And then all of a sudden, Kansas City looks like they figured it out. But Kansas City looked like they figured it out 2 weeks ago, and then they go to Jacksonville on a Monday night and lose the game. No, there is no dominant team. Like if parity was your goal in the NFL, with the draft and the way you do things, and then, first to worst, from a scheduling standpoint and strength of schedule, if parity was your goal, you certainly have achieved it. Because there is no dominant team out there in the NFL right now.
If you're talking about, that game too, and the way that it ended with the Lions and the Chiefs, there's the occasional situation, right, that plays out post-game. There's some type of an instant. The NFL has been trying to eradicate those from the game. But I'm curious, Mark, in all your years, did you ever think about or actually do, going and popping somebody in the face for something that happened during the game?
No, but we did it during the game. Like in the game, there was, back in those days, there was a little bit of frontier justice. And, if you did something in the game that was deemed dirty, or was deemed like, hey man, that's crossing the line, then we got to take care of it. And, and it wasn't officiated to the point where, everybody's getting ejected or those things. Like there was that aspect of, we're going to get you within the context of these, 4 quarters. You're going to get yours as well. And, and that's how things got kind of rectified. And so I don't know, maybe now without that, and everything seems to be a penalty, and, and physicality is fined. I mean, it's so interesting to me. I was doing a game the other day, and, social media went crazy because I was like, oh, come on, helmet to helmet. Like it's not that runner wasn't, he took 3 or 4 steps. He turned up the field, he wasn't defenseless. It's like, come on, what are we doing? And so it was helmet to helmet, and that's a 15-yard penalty. And I'm like, I could show you 7, 10, 12 other of exactly those plays. They just didn't sound as loud. Like, we flagged anything that sounds loud. Like maybe somebody could get hurt. We'll flag it. I don't know. At some point, we all signed up to play the game. We understand how violent the game is. Everybody signed up. Everybody knows the consequence of playing the game. And I'm all for player safety to a degree, but you can't take physicality out of the equation. It still has to be. You can't litigate contact out of a contact sport. At some point, you have to realize that we all signed up for it, and we're all out here, and let's just let the guys play.
When the players get faster and faster, their pads get smaller and smaller. You got wide receivers who essentially have no type of padding from the waist down out there. And yeah, depending where you get hit, there's going to be some type of an outcome. Even in the college game I was watching the other day, there was a targeting call where the defender, from everything I can see, lines him up with a shoulder. It is shoulder to shoulder. The guy's head snaps back. He's thrown out of the game. I mean, again, to your point, player safety is extremely important, but there are times where, just from a physics standpoint, I find it hard to believe that we can avoid certain types of things that by the letter of the law are a foul, and, intent apparently is not part of the equation.
Yeah, some of those things, there's nothing you can do about it, and it's just part of the game. And like I always say, and this is offensive to a lot of people, there's a reason that not everybody can play in the National Football League. 1, hand to God, you're not gifted enough to play, and 2, you don't have balls enough to play. And that's just a fact. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, there's some guys, they can go out there and can do those things, and there are a lot of people who can't. And look, man, I'm not mad at the people who can't. They just understand that this is what we sign up for. And every guy as a player understands that it's not if, it's when. There's 100% likelihood that you're going to get injured. It's just the way the game operates. And, like, we know the consequences now. Like, it's out in the open, right? There is CTE, and there is head injuries, and there is trauma, and there are we've seen some brutal injuries. That Tyreek Hill injury is as brutal as any injury I've ever watched. But I understand, like, we're still going to line up and play because that's what we signed up for. So I'm all for player safety, but at some point it still has to resemble football. And I'm not saying that it doesn't, but we just get further and further and further away. Under the whole kind of guise of, hey man, we want to keep everybody healthy.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.